Author John A. Douglas made a great video with many great points that I agree with every single one of them. So I thought I'd add in my own 10 cents from my personal experience, tempting to get published and so on, and just general observations. Let's look at why there are no books for men, and let's talk about it. Like, sub, do the usual. Memberships and Patreon is available for exclusive content you'll find nowhere else. So let's start the show. My own experience trying to get published over the years has led to a conversation with a now former and once respected literary agent who I absolutely adore, and we're good friends, who was disheartened and nearly in tears over the fact that she couldn't get mine and other books published by male writers. And ultimately, she left the industry less than 3 weeks after that conversation in a very, very nice posh bar in London. Unfortunately, it seems to be a current trend and we need to talk about it. Watch John A. Douglas's video. I'm going to reiterate that. He's linked down below. He's in the description. In recent years, the publishing industry has been evolving, and it has amplified voices in ways that are fantastic. I found some great books in mainstream publishing, and that's what the conversation here is going to focus on. We're not talking about indie spaces. And yes, having great writers from different backgrounds telling their stories, great. It's amazing, but what's often neglected is emerging male writers. Where is the new Chuck Palahniuk? Where is the new Bret Easton Ellis? Where are these writers? Where are these voices? Oh wait, they're all publishing their own works on varying websites, rather than dealing with the issues that seem to come up within publishing. It's interesting watching even mainstream published male writers struggling to find shelf space, and agents who want to work with them and publishing deals. It's interesting looking at the writers' groups and people that I know have all told me the same thing, and being told they're not allowed to tell certain genres stories or write in genres or whatever is ridiculous. And anyone trying to break into publishing, you're familiar with the competition. But for guys, especially those writing in traditionally male genres or perspectives, it's an uphill battle, more so than everyone else at this point. More and more agents are openly stating preferences from authors from varying backgrounds, identities, and so on, and honestly, I think it's left many young guys feeling they're at a disadvantage when it comes to publishing. And yes, there is value in making publishing more inclusive, but the unfortunate side effect is that male voices seem to be dismissed outright. This isn't about preferential treatment, but it's about the feeling an entire demographic is being written off simply for who they are. That's how it feels. And it's unfortunate. Go into any bookstore, and we're coming to this point now. Go into any bookstore, you have all the new releases are predominantly female writers. And you're seeing it in every genre. The new release table, the literary fiction, the fantasy, the science fiction. The handful of male writers I see on the shelves are people that have been around for decades. There's only so many lovely hardback copies of Frank Herbert's Dune one man can have in his life, and I happen to have 6 of them, thanks to many birthdays and Christmases. But where are these new writers on the shelves? Where are these voices? Can we say that? I go around the bookshop and it's often a disheartening experience. I also don't like the current trend in fantasy novel covers. And I also find it kind of sad that there's a trending on Book Talk section. And Book Talk is its own whole mess. But seriously, where are the new hot upstart male writers? Where are they going? And yes, the change may reflect a shift in demographic, and women have always historically read a lot more than men, but publishers cater to the biggest customer bases. But where are the books for everyone? And no, it's not about men not wanting to read books written by women, contrary to what some romance writer on Twitter cries about. Or, they don't like books with strong female characters in them. If you tweet stuff like that about this topic, you clearly don't have a leg to stand on in this discussion, and your opinion is probably as valueless as most literary agents because you're clearly not engaging with it. You're just using it to pretend to be a girl boss and talk to all your friends on their local podcasts. Publishing is a really interesting and very competitive world, and honestly, especially young books aimed at kids, that's when you find your love of reading. That's when you find the books that help make you who you are, that you find that joy in reading. Animorphs, Goosebumps, His Dark Materials, Harry Potter. I mean, that's just naming 4 series I fell in love with as a child. Where are they now? I'm seeing a lot of books that are clearly aimed predominantly at a female demographic, and people can say a lot of these books are for everyone, but the problem is the covers alone scream female reader, and I know enough about marketing within publishing to know exactly what that means. When some agents, well, most agents, editors, and publishing insiders have all made it clear they're only interested in authors from certain backgrounds and perspectives to add a unique twist to the industry, or young adult novels which seem more adult than anything else that they can sell to Susan at the supermarket with her 4 kids. That's a whole discussion that I'm not going to have in this video. Leaked screenshots from publishing group chats are fascinating reading. There is a sense that male perspectives are seen seen as either less valuable or simply outdated. But guys have nuanced stories to tell that don't necessarily fit into the stereotype either. We can write across all genres and bring in your own experiences, your life struggles, perspectives, people you know, your stories, your imagination to the table. Why is that being so pushed aside and dismissed? When you look at the book spaces online, such as BookTok and BookTube, they all seem to be extremely female oriented. And again, there's nothing wrong with that, but the attitude that men are, well, guests in these spaces is outdated and misandrous to say the least on the subject, but also the fact that an attractive man made a BookTok account, got really big really fast, and these people were like, if you're following him, I'm blocking you. Oh my god. They cried so foul, when really they're just insecure and possibly slightly ignorant of reading. But that's, again, a different discussion. But their ability to just ignore male read books or openly say, oh, this book's written by men, I'm not reading it. Come on. You're adding to this. You're adding to this imbalance. If the people on the internet, the influencers, the people like that, are not reading or engaging with these books either, and the handful that come out, not promoting them, but you're willing to sit there and promote the Sarah J. Maas special edition of book number 20 of a series that are all written the same way, can we just say that maybe you need to check yourself? Promotion is very important, and if you're not getting it in certain spaces, that also adds to an imbalance, and there's only so much you can do in a space like this where the imbalance is so dramatic. And imbalance can lead to the weird paradox that the imbalance becomes the mainstream, and then everyone else gets forgotten about, and then there's another shift a few decades down the line. The current trends in publishing are driven by being more inclusive, but true inclusivity requires diversity on all fronts. And I'm seeing the same writers, the same book covers, the same stories, and I'm not seeing anything new. If publishing excludes or dismisses guys' voices entirely, it risks losing a segment of readers who seek out their stories. It's not about taking a step back, but rather making room for everyone, including guys, encouraging a balanced approach, remembering that books need to be marketed on more than diversity and tick boxing, rather than actually the story, the book, the characters. Why do I want to read your book? Why would I read your book? Telling me what box it ticks on the back and doing a nice little TikTok dance isn't going to do that for me. I need something with more substance. And I think we need a more balanced approach within the industry. And I think the industry as a whole, the publishing industry, is in trouble. And if you want the honest truth, many male writers, myself and countless others I know, all feel genuinely sidelined. Some have even given up on sharing their voices. And literature thrives on diversity of thought and experiencing, and dismissing any voice simply because of gender risks making the literary landscape poorer for all readers on every front.